Media. Creating a complete vision and then manifesting it. That's what we're going to talk about today. So let's go. Hi, my name is Ronnie Cruz. After almost 2 decades as a career network marketer, I realized that despite continual work on my personal and professional development, that I had hit a massive brick wall. So I took a deep and honest look at myself, top to bottom, hoping to find answers. And my search led me to one conclusion. The definitions I held of my business, of my world, of my life were the very things holding me back. If I wanted to change, if I wanted to grow beyond my current circumstances, I had to wipe the slate clean and redefine. This show is dedicated to helping you identify the belief systems, the mindsets, the very definitions that have held you back, and then help you break through those limitations to finally create the life you've been working so hard to achieve. Welcome to the Redefine Podcast. Okay, happy podcast day. Happy podcast day to you. Welcome to the show if you're brand new. And of course, if you are an existing listener, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, before we get into it, I want to let you know, in case you hear what might sound like static in the background, that's actually the rain. Tropical Storm Helena, I believe is what it's called, is coming through our area and will be doing so for the next 24 to 48 hours. So it's completely unavoidable in terms of this recording. So we're just going to roll with it, chalk it up once again to background ambiance. Also, my dog Shadow is sitting under the desk and is snoring, so you might hear that as well. That's not the thunder. That's actually my dog snoring. Okay, so today, creating a complete vision and then manifesting it. My hope for this episode is to give you some tools that will help you be more intentional and purposeful with creating in creating the outcomes in your life, right? In creating a more in creating the kind of life experience that you want to have. Very important stuff. And in thinking about it, I realized that generally speaking, when we set goals and set visions for ourselves, there is a tendency to miss a few important aspects of it. And so what I've done is I've created 3 categories that fall into a hierarchical pyramid. Of course, the bottom of the pyramid being the most important because it's the foundation, and every other one building on top of that. And so what I'll do is we'll start at the top and work our way down. So at the top of the pyramid, the pointy part of the pyramid, we're going to call it the how, right? And this is the vehicle. And again, generally when we set visions and goals for ourselves, this is automatically where we start, and rightfully so. As kids, we're always asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? And we take that into especially early adulthood as we choose our career paths and plan out, the trajectory of our lives. This is generally where people start and unfortunately finish when it comes to setting goals for themselves, right? And so my 2 cents on this is the how, of course, is very important. I'll define it as the vehicle and that's going to give you the material means to live the kind of life that you want to live, right? Your job, your career, your entrepreneurial venture, whatever it might be. And there's no wrong or right answer. It's really what you want. I think the most important aspect of this particular category of how is that you are passionate about the vehicle that you choose, right? And I know that's very cliche. People, throw that word around a lot, passion. But if you're not excited about it, I think it really, what will end up happening is you're going to miss a big part of the fulfillment equation, right? Because think about it this way. We spend so much of our time, a majority of our waking hours, working in whatever career or whatever job that we've chosen for ourselves. And so I think it's really, really important that you find something and you choose something that gets you out of bed and that you're excited about. Of course, you don't have to be excited and bounce out of bed every day. That's not realistic. But generally speaking, overall, it's got to be something that really drives you and you're not just doing for a paycheck. I think, over the years, I've talked to and met so many people who have pursued a particular how or a particular vehicle, a career path that they weren't necessarily in alignment with. They were just doing for the salary or because it was a thing to do or their family wanted them to do it. What ends up happening is even if they achieve the thing, they end up again being feeling unfulfilled, or more often than not, they actually don't ever hit their mark, right? They don't ever achieve whatever they want to achieve in that particular career. And so having a vehicle and choosing a career path that you're excited about and that drives you, that motivates you, and that you're passionate about is really, really important to achieving that thing, right? And to making it happen. Remember, we're spending a good majority of our waking hours in these things through our adult lives, and so I think it's an important aspect to consider when choosing this category of how. Right, so that's the how. That's the top of the pyramid. The next layer of the pyramid then is the what. Right, what kind of life do you want to live? Again, this is really important. What ends up happening is people start with the how first, but choosing the how without knowing the what, you know, it just doesn't make any sense because the pyramid it doesn't get built on that way, right? So you have to build the layer under it first, and so you have to know what kind of life you want to live. What kind of life experience do you want to have? Do you want to have more time freedom? Do you want to have, a family with 2.3 kids and a dog and a 2-car garage? You know, do you want to live in a simple life in a log cabin in the middle of nowhere on a mountain like me? Do you want to live a life of luxury and travel the world on a fancy yacht? Whatever it might be. I mean, there's no wrong or right answer. It's just what kind of life experience do you want to have, right? And again, this is super, super important because the how will be informed by the kind of what you choose for yourself. In terms of figuring out what kind of life you want to live, the important thing for this particular category is realizing that there are no lids and that there are no limitations, right? I think when people kind of choose this aspect of their vision, they're limited by what they think they can do and what they think they can have. Again, I want to let you know, no matter what your circumstances are now, that can be completely changed, and any type of life that you want to live is available to you. You just have to believe it. You know, you have to believe it for yourself. For me, I was broke. I was working in a movie theater usher for minimum wage, $6.75 an hour at the time. And I had no means, right? And I had no capability to do the things that I wanted to do. However, I didn't think that those things weren't possible for me, right? I always believed that I had the ability, and well, no, not even the ability. I always believed that the life that I wanted to live, the kind of life that I wanted to live, the life experience that I wanted to have was available to me no matter what that thing was, and no matter where I was at any point in my life, right? So just understand, don't limit yourself to what you think you can do or what you think you can have. You can do and have anything, and that's an important aspect for this particular category when you're crafting this vision for yourself, and allow yourself to think freely and you really engage your imagination. Think of things that you would never think possible. Logically for yourself, and disengage that logic part of your brain when you're crafting this part of the pyramid, this part of your vision. Really, really important to kind of open yourself up to the limitless possibilities in this life, right? So as you're thinking about the what, right, what kind of life you want to live, there are no limitations. There are no limitations. And then once you kind of hone that in a little bit, excuse me, then the how, the vehicle, that the top part of that pyramid will make much more sense in terms of giving you the material ability to live the what, right? To live the what. So that's the what part of this pyramid. The foundation, then, the last category is the who. This is the most important part, and this is why this is the foundation. Who do you want to be, right? Who do you want to be in this vision? I chose this as the foundation of the pyramid because everything rests on you, right? Everything rests on who you are, and who you believe you can be, and the kind of person that you want to be, right? That you want to be. And here's the thing, again, this is one of those conversations that there are no limits in terms of who you are and what you want to be. And it's sometimes, well, I make this the foundation of the pyramid because it determines the next two. Who you are and what you believe will determine what you believe is possible for you, which will then determine the vehicle or the career path that you choose. And so if you don't have a firm idea of who you want to be, then you're just gonna be who you are by default, number one. And not that that's a bad thing. I'm not saying who you are needs to be. You need to be a different person, but there are definitely aspects of ourselves that we need to either address and work on, and improve and expand. Or we also need to kind of incorporate some new things into ourselves as well, to be the person that we need to be in order to be able to live the kind of life we want to live, and achieve the things that we want to achieve, through the vehicles that we set out for ourselves. If you don't address the who, then you're always going to default to what you have. If you don't make growth a priority and a foundation in your vision, and in the work that you do on a day to day, then everything else in the pyramid falls apart, right? And so in terms of crafting an idea and a picture and a vision of who you want to be, it sounds really kind of general and broad and vague, really. So what I like to do is, I like to think about people that I look up to, whether they're alive or people from history, even fictional people or fictional characters, and model yourselves, model the things that you like, and that you look up to about these people. I don't know if that's correct English, but you know what I mean. Model the things that the qualities that you look up to about them, and really try to incorporate those and build those and foster those and nurture those qualities within yourself. For example, I just throwing off the top of my head some of the people that I really look up to through in present time and through history. Walt Disney is always one of the people at the top of my list. George Lucas, Yoda. Speaking of George Lucas, the Dalai Lama, of course. Oprah Winfrey is somebody that I'm growing more and more to really look up to. And so just craft and look at the people that you look up to, and kind of pick and choose the qualities that you want to embody from them, to create the person that you need to be and that you want to be in order to live the life that you want to live, and therefore excel in the career that you choose. One note on the who is really be careful choosing a person to kind of emulate, based on their material achievement, right? Their material achievement. Not that that's a bad thing, but sometimes we kind of idolize people for what they've earned or built materially, for the amount of for the size of the business that they've created, and the amount of net worth that they've created for themselves, which again isn't in itself wrong or bad. However, I want you to also take into account the person's character and who they are, right? Remember, we want to emulate aspects about them, and so if you pick somebody that's wealthy beyond measure, but they're a complete asshole, I don't know. I guess I'm saying this because I don't want more assholes in the world. But I think you guys understand, right? Like you can, there are plenty of people who have achieved massive financial and material success, but are morally corrupt, right? And that's not necessarily the measure. So be really discerning when you are looking for people to emulate, when you're looking at the people that you look up to, because again, I think especially in modern society, we have a tendency we have a tendency to kind of idolize people just because they're rich and famous, and ignore their level of kind of morality and ethics, right? So be conscious of that. I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. That's who you want to be. But for my listeners in particular, I think you guys are so much more than that. Well, I mean, look at an Oprah Winfrey as an example. I think super wealthy, a billionaire, but also is continuing to work on her own ethics and morals and integrity, and is on her own kind of growth journey, right? So she's, I think, in my opinion, a good example of someone that fits both material success and spiritual and moral success, right? I think you get the point. I think you get the point. Really be discerning about who you choose to model, and the people that you look up to when creating a vision of the identity and the person that you want to become. Again, in order to have the life and live the life that you want to live, through the career, the path of the vehicle that you've chosen for yourself. So those are the three categories. Now, what's the last step? Now that you have those three categories worked out, then you gotta visit it every day, right? As in the story from Tuesday's episode, where I'm always looking at dog posts on the internet and on social media. I programmed my unconscious mind to always want a dog, and that's how we ended up. That's how I ended up manifesting the exact dog that was in one of the posts that I perused and that I saw. From an entire month before, right? Without even knowing it. So we have to program and give all this data and this input upload it into our unconscious mind. So really make it a practice, and this is where the work comes in. Really make it a practice of feeding your unconscious mind with this complete vision, every piece of the pyramid, this complete vision. Work at feeding your unconscious mind with this vision every day, every morning if you can, every evening if you can, so twice a day even, but at the very bare minimum once a day. And what will happen is you'll start to really, again, incorporate these things into yourself and into your unconscious, and do so happily, right? Really feel the feeling of what it's like to embody the entire pyramid with each level, each category, and imbue it with positive energy, with positive emotion, with a feeling of it having been already done, or you already having that thing and you already being that person, right? Think about this in present tense, and visualize it in present tense, as if. Really engage your imagination. If you're a kind of person that likes to write and read your visions and your goals for yourself, write these things out in present tense and read them out to yourself in present tense. Again, this is the work that we have to do to program our unconscious mind to then manifest it into reality, right? Into reality. So that's it. That's the manifesting. That's the manifesting. So the categories in the pyramid are, again, the how, which is the vehicle or the career path. The second level is the what, the kind of life that you want to live, the kind of life experience you want to have, and the base of it, the foundation, is who you want to be. Remind yourself of these things every day once you've crafted this complete vision for yourself, and manifestation will come. It's surprising. It will surprise you. It will surprise you how almost effortless it will be for you, right? Anyways, I'm getting tongue-tied, so I'm going to go ahead and go. We'll catch you next weekend. Be safe. For those of you in the next couple of days that are in the storm's path, please be careful. Be safe, especially if you're in a flood zone. We're not. Thankfully, we're on top of a mountain. But for anybody that is going to be in the path of the storm, please be careful. Take precaution, and don't take any unnecessary risks. And beyond that, have a great rest of your week and great weekend. We'll catch you on Tuesday with a fresh new one. So until then, be well, be safe. We'll see you in the next episode.